Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about Incredible Hulk issue 418, written by Peter David. And it's the fantastic wedding of Rick Jones and Marlo. I think her last name was Chandler. I was right with the last name. And the thing is, we're dealing with the fallout of the colossal revelations that Marlo, when she was young, she had done a corn flick. And at Rick Jones's bachelor party, they put this movie by chance on. So basically all the members of the Avengers and some of the Fantastic Four saw Rick's future wife getting it on with this random dude on the screen. Rick is utterly humiliated, and he takes his grievances to his possible future wife, because it's all up in the air actually at this moment in the story. Where the dialogues that we get here, even though they are very 90s, Peter David actually does a good job in not trying to shame Marlo. And Rick Jones actually sort of comes off as a total asshole. And I must add that when Marlo was introduced as a character, as Mr. Fix-It's girlfriend, it was heavily implied that she was or a stripper or a prostitute. And I'm pretty sure that Rick Jones had to know this, that she did have a sketchy past. The thing is that at this moment, the wedding's called off. Marlo goes to sleep later that night, and she is confronted in her dream with the shadowy figure that promises to fix all her problems and get the wedding back on track. And when you see this character on the page, you know we're dealing with Mephisto, who loves to ruin marriages. It seems that true love is one of the things that he hates the most. So within the context of this dream, she makes the deal. She has no idea this is a real deal, but when she wakes up, Rick Jones appears and tells her, look, I was a real ass back there. I'm sorry. Let's get married. Let's look past this. In many ways, sort of acting like a mature adult should. So the thing is, we cut to the wedding. We have some of the guests arriving. The guest list is actually really interesting. So we have the members of the Pantheon, both Avengers lineups. We have X Factor also there too. We also have, for two panels, Rom, the Space Knight without his armor on, who Rick Jones was a sidekick to for a brief time. Where I'm not sure if Marvel had the license or the permission to use this character for the story, but it is a really cool detail. Also, we discovered that the priest to the ceremony is actually Peter David himself. He actually looks really weird in this story. He feels really out of place. The thing is that as the ceremony progresses, more and more guests start to arrive. And no one knows who invited these people. First, we have Drax the Destroyer, which everyone at first, they're like, oh crap, it's Drax, we're in deep trouble. But it's totally adorable, the fact that he was very moved that someone had invited him in the first place. And then we get random villains arriving. We have the Wingless Wizard, Living Laser, Mr. Hyde, Absorbing Man, the Skrull, and the Kree Armada. And the thing is, we discover that the one responsible for this whole situation is the Impossible Man, as like this gigantic joke on Rick Jones. Now, this part of the story I really don't understand, because like Impossible Man, to my knowledge, doesn't have any type of connection with Rick Jones in the first place, or with the Hulk. Having him being this instigator in the story just feels a little bit odd and out of place too. The thing is that when Rick and Marlo are going to exchange their vows, Mephisto appears. He wants to collect their souls. That was the deal established in Marlo's dream, where Marlo's like, bullshit, that happened in a dream. I was not conscious. And what happens next is that the Hulk proceeds to beat the crap out of Mephisto, because since the ceremony takes place at a church, like Mephisto's weaker there. Now, within my own headcanon and like retroactively establishing what we discovered with the Immortal Hulk series, since the Hulk is like the avatar from the one below all, it would be really obvious that he would be able to kick Mephisto's butt. It's a shame that the Immortal Hulk run did not mention this, like go back to this moment and explain that's why Hulk was able to beat the tar out of Mephisto. So at the end of the story, we have the party after the wedding, and we discover that one of the guests there is Death, who has taken on the look of Death from Sandman. And she gives Marlo a comb that I personally don't understand the reference, and I've never seen this comb pop up in any other story after this. But I do have to say, this is a true Marvel gem, and like the story is like chock full of really interesting details that if you were a kid during that time, they were going to totally fly under your radar, like North Star hitting on one of the members of the Pantheon, or how all the heroes try to keep Tony Stark away from the bar so he doesn't relapse and become a drunk again.